Hi, hello, welcome back to the second day of LeetCode problem solving series. So today I have chosen to start with uh, a medium problem. So yesterday the two problems that we have solved was easy category, but today it is from medium one. But do not worry, this one is very similar to the last problem that we solved. So this problem says remove duplicates from the sorted array. That was the title of the last problem, but this is a little modified one. So let's read the problem statement. It says given a sorted array nums, remove the duplicates in place such that the duplicates appeared at most twice, and then you have to return the new length. So put in simple words, if you have an array like 0 0 1 1 1 2 2 3 in the previous problem, that is a simple one, easy one, there you just have to return this thing 0 1 2 3, eliminating all these things who appear for the second time. But now what we have to return is a little different, that uh, we can keep the second uh, repetition, second repetition only, but the third one, as it is appearing over here, that we must eliminate. So it is going to be like this 2 2 3. So let's take another example. So if it is like 0 0 0 1 1 2 2 2 3 3 4, we have to modify the array in such a way that it gives us 0 0. The second repetition is fine, the third one onwards we will have to eliminate. 1 1 we have kept both of them. 2 2 we have kept up to the second repetition, but third one is eliminated. Then 3 3 and then 4. Okay, so that is what we have to do. So let's now see how we can do that. If you remember the previous problem, we talked about something called two pointers. So in this problem I am not going to discuss about the brute force method, that you can try on your own. That is pretty simple, but let's begin with the two pointers method, how we can actually implement that. So if you remember the previous problem, it says that we should take two pointers I and j. I will keep track of the last unique element that we have found, and j, the job of j is to find the next unique element that we are going to encounter. Okay, so this problem is also very similar, but the definition of unique and non-unique is a little bit changed, because if you observe this thing, this array, this example and this result, you can see that I am considering this 0 also as a unique value. If you want to think it like that, it is not unique, but for the sake of the problem, you can assume that the second 0, this one, is unique, but the third one is not unique. So we have to eliminate the third one, but we can keep, and but we have to keep the second one. Okay, so what we can do is let me copy this thing again. 0 0 0 1 1 2 2 3 3 4. So what we can do is again, now we want to start from I we have to initialize from over here. Why? Because we know that the first two places are going to have unique integers no matter what, isn't it? Because the first two may have 0 1, or it can have any number 3 4, or it can also have repetitions like 3 3. Okay, but both of these cases we are keeping it, right? So the second place is pretty much safe, we are not going to alter its value. We have to check from this third place onward, so index 2 onwards we need to check. So uh, we are beginning our I from first index, that is 0, then 1 1th index, and j from the next one. So j is over here. So everything is pretty much same, but just a little modification, that to find that whether the element is unique or not, we cannot stop by comparing only the ith element and jth element, but we need to compare this jth element with ith element and I minus 1th element, both. Okay, so what do I mean by that? Let's see. So now when j is over here, we are going to check for whether nums, oh, let's get rid of nums, jth element, okay, is double equals to ith element, see, ith element and jth element double equals to I minus 1th element. Okay, and the other case is not equal. Not equal, that is, not equal means this condition, this whole condition does not satisfy. This whole condition does not satisfy. So when this condition does satisfy, then we can say that that element is a non-unique element. Okay, otherwise in this case it will be considered as unique. So what we need to do is, when we find a non-unique element, we do not need to bother, we will simply do j plus plus. Otherwise if it is found to be unique, here it will be unique. So the first step was to increment, first we need to increment I, then we need to exchange, then we need to increment j once more. Okay, so let's see in action how it happens. So when consider this case, so when we compare jth element with ith and I minus 1th, so it falls into this category, this condition satisfies, so we simply increment j, no need to worry about anything else. J comes over here, then we then just a minute, yeah, then we compare jth element with ith element and it does not match, so it comes under this condition. So we need to first increment I, then we need to exchange, so 0 and 1, this will be exchanged, so 0 comes over here and 1 comes over here, then j plus plus, so j goes over here. Okay, j goes over here. Then we again check for the ith element and I minus 1th element. Now you see it is pretty much pretty interesting, because the ith element does match, but the I minus 1th element does not match, so it falls under this condition again. Okay, so again repeating the same thing, that first we need to increment I, then we need to exchange 1 and 0, then we need to increment j. Simple stuff. Okay, then again what we do is to check to compare the values of um, j and I. So it seems like it is again unique. So again it comes under this situation, this condition. So um, so it will be exchanged. So 1 and 2, these two are getting they will get exchanged. So 2 comes over here. Sorry, very sorry, extremely sorry. So first we need to increment I, right? We increment I, then we interchange 2 and 0, then we again increase j. Now again when we compare with ith, this satisfies, but I minus 1th, this does not. So again it comes under this condition, the condition on the right hand side, and we need to increment I, then we need to interchange 2 and 0, then increment j, now what you can see is when you compare with I and j, both of them satisfy, so it comes under this situation, that is it is a non-unique case. Okay, so we do not bother about it, we just move forward with j. So j comes over here, again it is a unique condition. So again the same case, we need to increment I think you pretty much got it right. So in this way we need to do this whole thing. So let's see that thing in practice in code. So welcome to LeetCode. Anyway, so first thing first, if the size of the array is less than 2, then we need to do any operation, right? Even if it is less than 3, then we need not bother about anything, right? So because if the array length is 2, then we need not change anything. So it is like this condition over here, this thing. If it is repeating characters or two different characters, in both cases we do not need any separate operation to do on this array. So let's write down that condition. If nums dot size is less than 3, then what? Then we simply will return the size of this array. Okay, now otherwise we need to do the whole thing that I just discussed. So okay, so we need two things, I and j. So I will start from where? I will start from the second element onwards, na? From here, sorry, from here. I will start from 1 and j will start from 2. So and we have to iterate until j goes beyond the array length. So we have one simple condition that if it is we have to what we have to find, we have to find the next unique element. So first let me write down the condition when it is non-unique. So we just negate that condition and we will find the unique one. So for non-unique cases, what we have is if nums j, that is the current element, is double equals to nums I, and at the same time it is also equal to nums I minus 1, then it is what? Non-unique, right? So for non-unique case we do not need to do any operation. Instead of incrementing j, that is common operation for both non-unique and unique cases. So to make it unique, what we do is simply negate this thing, and yeah, and if so, now it has become unique. So in case the j is has found a unique value, we need to first increment I, then we need to exchange it. So let's say int temp equals to nums I equals to nums j equals to nums temp, and then we have to go out of this condition and increment j, and ultimately as usual we have to return I plus 1. Why? Because I will store the last the index of the last unique integer found so far. So as C++ follows a zero based indexing, so we need to return one more value than I. Okay, so if I is storing suppose 3, so 3 is the index, but number of elements will be 4. That is my point. So let's see if it works. Okay, it does. Let's use some example test cases. Okay, so let's submit. Yeah, it has passed. So let me know if you have any question in the comments. Otherwise, stay tuned for the next problem. Thanks.